Good evening, everyone. Welcome po to the third session of the Professional Forester's Licensure Exam Peer Review under the Upstep Review Caravan 2026. So thank you everyone for being here, and we are very glad to see you all here sa ating Google Meet at Facebook Live. And syempre, curious din kami kung taga saan ba ang ating viewers and participants tonight. So kindly let us know where you're watching from by typing po sa ating chat box or sa ating comment section. Ayan. Huwag po tayong mahiya, send lang po tayo. Mukhang nahihiya pa rin mag-comment ang ating viewers sa ating Facebook Live. Pero okay lang. Welcome po sa inyong lahat, and hopefully ay ready nang makinig for tonight's lecture. Before we proceed, don't forget to register to our peer review sessions to stay updated on upcoming topics. You may also enroll in our review programs for a more comprehensive preparation. So this includes coaching, review materials, and guided consultations. And we offer the programs in different learning modes. We have self-paced and online review programs, as you can see flashed on your screens. So for today's session, we will be learning about forest economics. And it is my great pleasure to introduce our lecturer for tonight. He graduated BS Forestry from UPLB, MS Agricultural Economics from Michigan State University under the Fulbright Philippine Agriculture Scholarship Program. He earned his PhD in Forest Resources from Oregon State University and is now working as a professor at the Department of Agricultural and Applied Economics, UPLB. He is also a recipient of Outstanding Scientific Paper International Publication Awards from 2022 to 2024 and Best Research Team. And he is also awarded the 1UP Professorial Chair Award. And without further ado, let's all welcome and give a virtual round of applause to Dr. Arvin Vista. Hello po, good evening po.
Hello, good evening. Eto, meron nang nag-chat. Meron tayong isang taga-Sulu. Wow, welcome. Okay, so I think we can start. But meron tayo so far na 39 viewers. So doon sa ating 35 so far, you can write where you are and you can ask questions para habang nagle-lecture tayo, mabibigyan natin ng response yung inyong mga questions, okay? Malinaw ba yung dating ko from your end?
Yes po.
Okay, good. Sige. Ayan, meron nagsabi na taga Mountain Province. Okay, so let me share to you my presentation. Ayan. Okay, kita na? Ayan, very good. So yung ating session ngayon will focus on forest economics and finance. Maraming nahihirapan dito. So magbibigay tayo ng mga key concepts na hopefully ma-pick up natin from our free session today. And then we'll zero in later doon sa financial analysis and criteria na kalimitang ginagamit sa forestry economics and finance. Okay? Ayun. So again, we have limited time today. We have only 2 hours. So we will try to maximize our time para at least makapagbigay kami sa inyo ng some ideas towards things that we have to think about for our preparation for the forester's licensure examination. So it's been a while. Magti 3 decades na since I took this examination. And I will be glad to share with you some tips later. Okay, when you decide to continue on with the review provided by the STEP Review Center. Okay? So as I was saying, kung meron kayong questions, comments, okay, meron tayong moderator si Crizel. Inform nyo lang siya or mag-chat kayo dito sa ating live chat box through Facebook para malaman natin kung meron kayong questions. And if you will avail of our online review, doon magkakaroon tayo ng mga question and answer portions para direct yung ating pagsagot sa inyong mga questions. Okay? So given that limited time, meron lang tayong two main areas na mabibigyan ng focus. And then towards the end, naglagay lang ako ng 3 sample questions na ating tatry na sagutan and let me know kung may question kayo doon later. So based on Crizel, merong few seconds na delay sa FB page live. So kung meron man kayong questions, please ask that immediately or comment that in our chat box. Okay? Sige, so let's start. So yan yung aking sa background. If you wanna know more about me, search nyo lang yung pangalan ko, lalabas yan sa Google results. Specifically, you can take a look at my publications. Punta lang kayo sa Google Scholar. Okay? Okay, so let's start with forestry economics and finance. Specifically, forest economics. So kung familiar kayo, yung mga estudyante namin, basic talaga yung economics. And then, samahan natin yung ating review ng forestry and then pinagsama ngayon yung forestry economics. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Sabi rito, it is a specialized field of study that applies economic principles to the management of forests and the utilization of forest resources. Okay? So, ano ba ito mga economic principles na relevant sa ating pag-aaral ng forestry and utilization of forest resources? So, i-dissect natin. Okay? Ano ba yung forest? So, alam natin ang forest ay isang land with vegetation. So if you have a hectare of land, meron kang at least 10% of that land occupied by trees. Okay? So given that resource, forest as a resource, i-apply ngayon natin yung economics. At sa economics, alam natin that it's a field of social science that deals with the allocation of scarce resource. In this case, our scarce resource are the forest resources. Okay? So pag sinabi natin forest, pwede yan na may view tayo na multiple use. Hopefully, yung multiple use na yun ay compatible. And pag pinag-usapan ng forest resources, marami nitong elements and those combination of elements, when they interact with each other, also produce goods and services. Okay? So itong mga goods and services natin ngayon, sa question ng management, the question is, how can we manage these forest resources, these goods and services, so that it will be sustainable in terms of our utilization, harvest, consumption? Okay? At isa sa mga criteria na pwede natin gamitin dito ay yung economics. Okay? We want to apply efficiency, for example, on how we manage forest resources. Okay? But let's start with the basic. Ano yung mga key concepts na hopefully maintindihan natin at may apply sa forestry economics? Okay? So ito yung mga key concepts. Let's start with the basic one. Scarcity. Does it ring a bell? Pag narinig niyo yung scarcity. Okay? Another one is choice. The third one is yung issue or concept ng opportunity cost. This is very, very relevant na pwede nating i-apply sa ating buhay, hindi lang sa forestry. Okay? And when we talk about finance, when we talk about economics, hindi lalo mawawala yung konsepto ng time value of money. Okay? So ano ba yun? Ano yung time value of money? At samahan natin ng konsepto na discounting. Okay? So let's start with scarcity. So ano ba yung scarcity? So forest resources, specifically land and timber, are limited, or the quantity of resources is less compared with the quantity demanded at a particular price. And that price is defined in terms of relative price. So kung meron kang supply at meron kang demand, okay, tinatanong ngayon kung enough ba yung supply at mag-match siya doon sa quantity demanded at that particular price na kayang bilhin ng consumer. Okay? Kung mas mataas ang demand mo at mas kakunti yung supply at that particular price, makikita natin na hindi enough yung resources na yun. Kaya dito ngayon papasok yung konsepto natin ng scarcity at i-apply natin yung ating knowledge of economics para mas ma-manage natin yung ating forest resource. Kasi alam natin, sa buhay ng tao, kailangan natin itong mga resources na to, like land, timber. Kailangan natin yan. Input natin yan sa ating construction sa bahay, sa furniture, okay? Even for pulp and paper, kailangan natin yan for offices. So, if we know that these resources are very important, then we must, okay, as a forester, be able to help manage these resources sustainably. Okay? So, given that limited resource, how can we allocate forest resources so that in the future, meron tayong sustained supply of forest resources? Okay? So, pag tiningnan natin yung forest resources, hindi lang lagi siya timber. Okay? Meron tayong timber products, mainly yung ating mga pinuputol na puno, kung allow siyang putulin. Okay? And meron tayong mga non-timber products. Kasama rin dito yung mga services provided ng isang forest ecosystems. Okay? So medyo malawak yan. But again, sa konsepto ng scarcity, mahalaga na maunawa natin to kasi may i-apply ngayon natin ang mga konsepto na inangkat natin mula sa economics para may apply ito sa forest resources. Okay? So pag may scarcity, napipilitan ang mga individual in our society to make choices about how to best use this resource. Okay? So tatanungin ngayon, ano ang best use of a forest land? Will it be better to be used for timber production, a wildlife sanctuary, or a housing development? Okay? So isa sa mga criterion na pwede nating tingnan yung economic value na maibibigay ng timber production. I-compare natin siya sa wildlife sanctuary, i-compare natin siya sa housing development. Provided na meron tayong estimate do mga resources na meron dun sa isang area at mabigyan natin ng value, whether siya ay binibili sa market or hindi nabibili sa market, meron siyang value. At para malaman natin, once may assign natin, ma-compute natin yung quantity na merong resource na meron doon, at may attach natin yung monetary value for that resource. At the end of the day, tatanungin natin ngayon, alin dito sa mga land uses na to ang magbibigay sa atin for an individual na magbibigay na mas mataas na utility or satisfaction from the use of this resource, or kung titingnan natin from the point of view of society, alin dito sa mga land uses na to ang magbibigay ng pinakamataas na human welfare. Okay, if we are the one deciding and making that actual choice. Okay? Kaya mahalaga yung knowledge natin ng mga economic concepts. So, when you are making choices Okay, dito ngayon nagpapakita na may magkakaroon ngayon ng ranking ang iba't ibang forest resources or iba't ibang forest use or iba't ibang projects associated with forests ang sa tingin natin ang magbibigay ng highest and best use. So kung meron kang highest and best use, meron kang second in rank in terms of uses or in terms of economic value or in terms of utility or in terms of welfare na pwede natin makuha from the utilization, consumption of forest resources. Okay? So, mararank mo ngayon kung papipiliin ka ng bundles or options, which one is best, which one is in the middle, and which one is least in terms of an individual choice or societal choice. Okay? So dahil may scarcity, siya ngayon yung nagiging factor para mamili tayo kung ano ang best forest resource use. Okay? Alam natin, kagaya sa Pilipinas, na tumataas ang ating population at meron tayong moratorium sa cutting of timber from natural forests. Limited ngayon ang ating timber supply. So mangangailangan ngayon tayo ng mga decision on ano ba ang allowable harvest levels na pwede. For example, sa isang private plantations. So if you are making choices, let's say cutting, mamimili ka ngayon, should I do a clear cut or selective logging yung aking susundin? So those are example of choices na mahalagang maunawaan natin. Kasi kailangan nating i-balance yung environmental conservations with economic gains. Okay? So marami kasi tayong pwedeng tingnan na point of view, pwedeng from the economic point of view, pwedeng from the social point of view, pwedeng from the moral point of view. Okay? But here, magpo-focus muna tayo sa economic point of view. Okay? We have Joyce here sa Google Meet and Renz. Welcome. And meron din tayo sa ating FB Live. So far, we have 43. Again, kung may questions kayo or comments, ibato nyo lang sa chat ha. Kung may mga comments kayo para magkaroon naman tayo ng interactions. Okay? So, napag-usapan na natin yung scarcity at nabanggit natin yung choice. And lumalabas dun sa pagpili natin ng mga possible uses of land or forest land, nagpapakita yon na meron tayong ranking ng ating estimate of value na pwede makuha doon sa isang gamit ng forest lands. Kaya lumalabas doon yung konsepto na common sa economics, yung meron kang highest and best use. So from the point of view of an individual, the highest and best use is that one that will provide the highest utility. Utility is a measure of satisfaction. So you choose bundle A over bundle B kasi itong bundle A provides the highest utility or satisfaction. And then yung nabanggit ko kanina, kung ang point of view natin ay society, yung estimate of total welfare from the use of forest versus this land use na hindi ka magtitimber harvesting, instead i-convert mo siya into other land use. Kung mas mataas ang welfare na yon at a given point in time, given certain assumptions, then kung yun lang yung iyong guide in your decisions or choices, so choose the one that will provide the highest economic gain, for example. So mangangailangan yun ng choices. Okay? So yeah, mahalaga yung choice. So doon sa choice, nagpapakita alin ang mas valuable sa isa over the other. At dahil doon, dahil may pinili, meron ngayon tayong trade-off. Okay? So kung pinili si bundle A over bundle B, okay? So mas pine-perceive na mas mataas yung economic gain na makukuha sa bundle A over bundle B. So anong mangyayari ngayon sa bundle B? Okay? That will lead us to our next concept na tinatawag na opportunity cost. Okay? So anong sabi sa opportunity cost? It is the value of the next best alternative that was given up. Okay, so ito yung example natin kanina na bundle B. Here, in our slide, ang sabi dito, the opportunity cost of harvesting a stand of timber now is the future value of that timber if it were allowed to grow for another 10 years. Kaya ang question sa forestry economics, when should I harvest the stand? Pag hinarvest ko siya ngayon, ito yung tinatawag na stumpage value. Let's say hindi ko pa siya kinakat. So kahit hindi pa siya nakat, ang tawag doon ay stumpage value. Pwede mong ma-estimate yung stumpage value by knowing the current price of a certain timber. Hindi pa siya pinaprocess. Okay? Stumpage value ang tawag doon. Versus, what if hindi ko siya i-cut? I-maintain ko lang siya standing, palakihin pa siya for the next 10 years. Ano ang value niya 10 years from now? Okay? So, yun yung mga decisions na kailangan tanungin. Okay? Ang question ngayon is, ano ang conditions 10 years from now? We don't know. We can make some assumptions. Okay? If I carried it now, and I have a knowledge of the current market price, okay? So may estimate ko ngayon yung stumpage value. So paano ko ngayon siya i-compare if hindi ko siya kinat at ikakat ko siya 10 years from now? So doon mo ngayon makikita ano ang next best alternative. So what if ikat ko siya ngayon, I use the money and save it in the bank, let's say, or save it in a time deposit, and that money will grow in the next 10 years. Okay? So you have some value again. At pwede mo siya compare 10 years from now na possible harvestable merchantable volume and an estimate of the price 10 years from now para makita mo, compare which of the two options is best. That will give you the highest return, okay, for growing timber. So, mamimili ka ngayon. So, yung hindi mo pinili, ang tawag doon ay opportunity cost. It's the value of the next best alternative that was given up. Okay? Nakukuha ba, Miss Joyce, yung kasama natin sa Google Meet? How about si Renz? Renz? Ayun. Nag-thumbs up naman. Ayan, maganda yan para meron tayong interaction. So, let's continue, ha? We go to the next concept, which is yung tinatawag na time value of money. Okay? So, sabi dito, it states that the sum of money is worth more now than the same sum will be at a future date due to its potential earning capacity. Okay, so kung may option ka ngayon, halimbawa na let's say makatanggap ng reward, 1 million, the question is, would you accept it now? Or would you rather accept 250,000 for the next 4 years? So sa tingin nyo kaya, alin ang best option? Accept the 1 million now? Or receive the money 250,000 every year for the next 4 years. That will total to 1 million. Okay? So pag-isipan niyo yun. Kasi may implication siya kung alin yung magiging best decision natin. Okay? Kasi doon pinapakita yung time value of money. So let us say you get the 1 million now, what you can do, kung hindi mo naman pa siya gagamitin, pwede mo siyang i-invest. And that investment can earn interest. Okay, there are many options right now kung gusto mo mag-invest. Pwedeng sa time deposit, pwedeng i-invest mo sa mutual funds, pwedeng ipang business mo, but we're not sure whether sure yung investment na yun, ha? Lalo na kung business. Pero kung mga time deposit ito na mga secure investments, mataas yung probability na mag-earn ng interest yung investment mo. Okay? So, mamimili na lang tayo, ano kaya yung best approach para mas lumaki yung money na meron tayo. At dyan pumapasok yung konsepto ng time value of money. Mamaya, meron tayong exercise dito para makita natin yung konsepto ng time value of money. Okay, lalong-lalo na doon sa computations ng net present value. Okay? And then related to time value of money is yung tinatawag na discounting. It is the process of calculating the present value of future sum of money. It is the inverse of compounding, and it's a fundamental tool for comparing costs and benefits that occur at different points in time. So bakit mahalaga to? Okay? Kasi when we work with forestry, alam natin na mahaba ang gestation period if you deal with forestry. Okay? Pag nagtanim ka ngayon, assuming na meron kang lupa, and magtatanim ka, additional planting na lang to. There are existing vegetation already in the lot. Let's say, assumption natin, for every hectare, magtatanim ka ng ganitong seedlings. Okay? Lalo na kung native forest trees itong tatanim mo, pag nagtanim ka ngayon, hindi ka mag-harvest after 1 year. So, pag sinabi na mahaba yung gestation period, ano ibig sabihin nun? It will take some time before ideally maka-harvest ka doon sa itinanim mo na seedlings. So sa una, gagastos ka muna sa kailangan bili yung seedlings, magbayad ka sa labor, okay? And you have to wait. You have to wait. Hindi kaagad maka-harvest, lalo-lalo na kung mga native tree species ang itinanim mo. Okay? So magkakaiba yan, depende sa species. Pero kung itatanim mo yung mga fast-growing species, halimbawa ay falcata, karalitang tinatanim sa Caraga region, may estimate sila na after mo magtanim, in 6 years, pwede ka mag-harvest. Okay? If you follow yung tinatawag na mga technologies that would entail, number one, maganda yung quality of seedlings at itinanim mo. Number two, you follow the suggested silvicultural practices. Okay? So the estimate is within 6 years, you can harvest. Okay? So may cost ka sa planting, maintenance and protection, kung kailangan mo mag-thinning, fertilization, those are costs. And nag-i-incur yung cost at different years. Okay? And alam natin na ang value ng peso, for example, ay magkakaiba through the years. How can we understand this better? Halimbawa, when you compare the living expenses of your parents, when I was a student way back in 90s, late 90s, okay, compared with the cost of education now, kung magkakaiba talaga yung value of peso, ay hindi mo siya pwede ma-compare. Kaya pag pinag-usapan ngayon ang time value of money and discounting, mahalaga nating malaman dito, together with discounting, yung difference ng tinatawag na nominal value versus real value. Okay? So ito i-discuss to kapag nag-attend tayo ng review, no? Aside from this free review. Okay? So ang point lang doon, yung 1 peso na ginagastos namin more than 2 decades ago. Okay? And we bring that same 1 peso now, magkaiba na siya ng value. Okay? So the point here is, ganun sa forestry. Yung cost mo ng year 0 planting versus cost mo ng harvesting after 6 years, the value of peso is different. So we have to account for that. Para later, when we compare, okay, the best thing to do is dadalhin mo siya sa present value. Okay? At yung process na yon, ito yung tinatawag na discounting. Okay? So yun, magbibigay tayo ng example mamaya, computations, para mas maintindihan natin yan. So far, balikan natin yung mga concepts. We've talked about scarcity. Ano sabi sa scarcity? The supply is limited relative to the quantity demanded. Choice, meaning you have to make a choice between 2 options. Ganyan sa forestry eh. Given na meron kang different uses of the land, of forest land, pwede mo siyang gamitin for protection forest, or in certain areas, pwede production forest. Within production forest, may mga options ka kung anong tatanim mo. So, you have to make a choice. And in economics, we have to decide alin doon yung best choice. At kung meron kang best choice, meron kang hindi pinili, which will lead us to the concept of opportunity cost. And many of our investment decisions in forestry will involve issues on money and time value of money and discounting. Okay? So para mas maunawaan natin yun, i-dissect natin siya. Okay? So yung susunod natin na slides will focus on interest rate. So yung simple and compound interest, okay, medyo delayed nga ng konti sa sa FB Live. So ang slide natin ngayon ay naandun na sa simple and compound interest. So ginagamit itong tools na ito for calculating the time value of money. Okay? So, anong pagkakaiba ng dalawa? So, let's start with simple interest. So, sabi sa simple interest, this is the interest calculated only on the principal amount. So, ito yung formula niya. The interest earned is equal to the principal amount of money, let's say in peso, you multiply that by the annual interest rate, okay, coded as R, times the time in years. So let us say annual lang yung interest rate na pinag-uusapan natin. So makukompute mo na ngayon yung interest earned. Okay, simple interest. So, yun naman compound interest. Sabi dito, this is the interest calculated on the amount, on the principal amount, and on the accumulated interest from previous period. So, let's say we're talking about of 2 years. So, may interest na kikitain ngayon sa first year. Pag inad mo siya doon sa principal amount sa beginning of your accounting period in the second year, kung ang principal amount mo ay 100 at kumita ka ng 10, okay, say 10 pesos. Ang magiging principal mo ngayon in the next accounting period, which is on year 0, o year 2, okay, yung beginning niya will be 110. So doon ngayon, pumapasok yung compounding. Kaya ang key dito sa compounding interest is the earlier ka mag-invest, okay, at hindi mo ginagalaw yung interest earned, okay, the better. And the higher the principal and the earlier that you invest, the better. Kasi may multiplier effect ngayon yung compounding interest na meron ka. So ito yung formula niya. The formula for the future value of a single sum is equal to the principal times the quantity 1 plus I is the interest rate raised to T. T is the number of compounding periods, let's say number of years. Okay? So yan, apply natin ito mamaya. So, as I was saying, yung forestry projects often involve long-term investments with costs and revenues occurring over many years. Para ma-evaluate ngayon natin yung mga forestry projects na to, we need to bring all future cash flows back to their value today, which is we call present value. So bakit natin kailangang i-compute yung present value? Kasi nga, tulad nung sabi ko, magkakaiba na mai-incur ngayon yung gastos, pati yung revenue na nakukuha. Magkakaiba siya ng year. At alam natin na ang value ng peso changes each year. Lalo na yung tinatawag natin na purchasing value or power of peso. Through time, lumiliit yung purchasing value of peso. So yung kayang mabili dati na value meal, let's say sa Jollibee, when I was a student, pag meron kang less than 100, meron ka ng value meal. Pero ngayon, when you say value meal, mahina na yung 200. Okay? For the same specification ng value meal na mabubusog ka. So, kailangan ngayon nating dalhin lahat sa present value. So, kung nag-harvest ka after 6 years, yung example natin kanina, dalhin natin yung cost na yon to present value. So, kung nag-start tayo ng planting, let us say, ng 2020, mag-harvest ka na ngayon to 2026. So, iba yung cost mo dito, may planting cost ka, tapos meron kang maintenance and protection for the next 5 years, tapos may harvesting cost ka and revenue. Lahat ng values na yon, okay, dadalhin natin sa present. So, when all values are in present, comparable na siya. Okay? So, when you say comparable, we are comparing apples and apples. Okay? We are not comparing apples and oranges. Magkaiba siya ng prutas. Although pareho siyang fruits, pero hindi siya comparable. Naintindihan ba yun? So, yun yung purpose nun. Kaya kailangan nating dalhin sa present value. Okay? So tulad ng sabi natin, meron tayong cash flow. Sa cash flow, merong gastos at merong revenue. So, gastos is cost. Okay? At merong revenue. Okay? So, the movement of money into a project, let's denote that as inflows, and movement of money out of the project, and let's call that cost, for example. At the end of the accounting period, at the end of the year, magkano ngayon yung naging net cash flow? That's the difference between cash inflows and cash outflows for a given period. So, the best way to understand this is, let's say you have a budget of 5,000 in a week as a family. Okay? So, within that week, nadagdagan ba yung budget mo? May nagbigay ba or may kinita kang extra? Yun yung inflows. And then within that week, kung may mga ginastos ka, let's say ang ating week starts with Monday. Gumastos ka, food, transportation, okay? Medyo mainit, bumili ka ng milk tea, mga extra coffee, iced coffee, okay? And then at the end of the week, on Sunday, assuming na walang pumasok na additional money sa wallet mo, lahat ay palabas, at gumastos ka ng 4,000, magkano ngayon ang natira sa'yo? So, meron ka na lang 1,000. Okay? So, puro ka outflow. So, titingnan natin yan. Ha? Titingnan natin yan sa forestry project, for example. Eh, naunawaan ba yon, guys? Sige. Now, tingnan ngayon natin yung present value of a cash flow. Yan. Sabi dito, the current value of future sum of money, so yung future sum denoted here as FB, or a stream of cash flows given a specified rate of return, will have this formula. Okay, present value is equal to the future value divided by 1 plus I raised to t, where I is the interest rate and t is equal to year. Okay? So, tandaan natin to, ha? Present value. So, yung example natin kanina, let's say, nagtanim ka nga ng, let's say, falcata, starting with 2,000. So, may ine-expect ka ngayon, let us say, na harvest at the end of 6 years, so 2026. So, yung expected mo na harvest revenue, assuming natin na natanggal mo na yung mga harvesting cost mo. So, net na siya, harvest net revenue na yon. Meron siyang future value in 2026. Ay, kung ating present value ay 2,000. So, yung future value na yon, i-divide mo ngayon ng 1 plus I raised to t. So, yung I natin dito is the interest rate. So, let us say the interest rate is 10%. So, that would be 1 plus 0.10. Okay? Not in percentage, in ano na lang siya, decimals. Kaya 1.1 siya, raised to t. So, ang t natin dito is 6 years. Kasi after 6 years. Para makuha mo yung present value. So, once we do that, makukompute ngayon natin yung value into 2026, dinala natin sa present value na 2,000. So, kung lahat ng mga values na yun, dalhin natin sa present, ang denoted natin na present ay year 2000, mapa-plus and add na natin siya. Makikita natin, is this business economical? Is this business rational? Kikita ba tayo dito or lugi? Okay? Naintindihan? Sige, i-dissect natin. Kasi meron pa tayong ibang mga terms dito na ginamit, kagaya nung tinatawag na discount rate. So the discount rate is the interest rate used to discount future cash flows to their present value. So in forestry, this is often the minimum rate of return required for a project to be considered worthwhile. Okay? Kasi karamihan nga ng project sa forestry, lalo lang na kung large scale ito, will require funds. So kung manghihiram tayo ng pera, let's say, to fund these reforestation projects, the question is, ano tong interest rate na sa tingin natin, okay, kaya natin na gastusin na magbibigay sa atin ng project na masasabi nating worthwhile. Ibig sabihin, economically, you gain something. Hindi yung nag-invest ka. Of course, there's a cost in your investment. At the end of the investment period, kumita ka ba? So, yun yung tanong. So, para natin ma-decide kung worthwhile ba yung ginamit natin na investment, meron tayo mga criteria for financial investment analysis. Okay? So, knowing this concepts in Forest Economic Finance, mag-guide ngayon tayo kung worthwhile ba yung magiging decision natin. And that will lead us dun sa tinatawag natin na criteria for financial investment analysis in forestry. Meron tayong 4. Okay? So ito yung mga metrics. So pag sinabi nating metrics, these are measures of financial value. Okay? So pag sinabing financially viable, it is worthwhile pursuing from an economic point of view. Okay? So number 1 doon, yung net present value. Pangalawa, yung benefit cost ratio. So kung ang binavalue natin dito ay yung mga marketed goods, yung benefit cost ratio ay pwedeng tawagin na financial cost ratio. Pero kung itatry natin na i-value yung ibang mga goods and services na kayang ibigay ng forest resources, kahit hindi siya binavalue or binibili sa market, halimbawa ay carbon sequestration, may value yan. Although wala pa tayong existing carbon trading market sa Pilipinas. Meron siyang value na ko-contribute sa atin. Okay? Yung functions niya as water purification ng ating forest ecosystem, meron siyang positive value, although hindi siya nabibili sa market. So kung isasama natin yung environmental values na yon, yung benefit cost ratio is a better terminology for that metrics. Pero kung ang ating binavalue lang ay mga marketed goods, let's say timber na nabibili mo sa market, yung BCR, pwede siyang tawagin na financial cost ratio. Okay? And then we have internal rate of return. At yung pang-4, yung payback period. Okay? Iisa-isahin natin to. Let's start with net present value. Okay? So ito yung formula niya. At ang decision rule niya ay once mo compute mo yung net present value, i-accept mo daw yung project kung yung net present value is greater than or equal to 0. Okay? So ano yung formula? Sabi rito, you get the summation of the benefits minus the summation of the cost divided by 1 plus I raised to t. Again, I is the interest rate that would make the use of the land or investment in forestry economically gainful. So ano kaya yung interest rate na pag-uusapan natin yung mamaya dito. And then raised to t. Okay? So yun yung formula niya. Get the summation of benefits minus the summation of costs. And then i-convert mo tong net cash flow na yan into present value by multiplying with 1 over 1 plus I raised to t. Okay, meron tayong example computation dito mamaya ha. Para makita nyo. And you accept the project if it's greater than or equal to 0. So ang assumption natin dito sa net present value, wala kang ibang land use. Ibig sabihin, yung current use of the land, walang nakukuhang value. Okay? So yun yung assumption natin dito. Kung meron man, na nakukuha tayong, let's say, rent, may existing rent, and ang assumption natin is magbabago ka ng land use. Okay? Yung bang additional na net present value na makukuha mo, with that change in land use, will that be greater than 0? So let's say at the current land use, nakakakuha ka ng rent na 1 million. Ngayon, may nagpropose na baguhin yung land use sa isang forest land, gawing settlement, for example. Okay? Combination of conservation with limited multiple use. Let's say may konting settlement dito sa baba. Given that new land use, new combination of land use, is the additional value greater than 0? So dapat kung nakaka-receive ka ng 1 million rent per month, the additional one, okay, so yung makukompute mo ngayon na value of the new proposed land use or combination of land use should be greater than 1 million. Okay? Yan yung assumption natin doon sa NPV ha. Now, sa benefit ratio, ang sabi rito, kuhanin mo yung summation ng benefits, and then kukuhanin mo yung present value of benefits itong sa taas all over the present value of the costs. Okay? So kung peso over peso yan, the BCR should be greater than or equal to 1. So wala tong makakancel out yung unit mo. Unitless yan. Okay? Should be greater than 1. So, ano ibig sabihin kung less than 1? Ibig sabihin, yung present value ng cost mo, mas mataas sa present value ng benefit. And the project is not worth pursuing. Mas malaki yung present value ng cost. Hindi siya maganda. So, ang gusto natin, mas malaki yung benefit, the present value of benefits from the present value of cost. And it should be greater than 1. Okay? And then yung internal rate of return is basically saying, ano yung interest rate I that would make the net present value equal to 0? Okay, so ano daw yan? Mamaya may additional detail tayo rito how to compute this. Okay, if we are given 2 data points. So sabi rito, you accept the project if the internal rate of return is greater than or equal to the interest rate I. So ano kaya yan? So isa-isahin natin ha, yung net present value. So tinitingnan ngayon yung sum of present values of all future cash inflows and outflows associated with the project. A positive net NPV or net present value indicates that the project is expected to generate a greater return than the cost of capital, making it a potentially profitable investment. So yan. Okay, halimbawa, meron tayong example, okay, net present value. Ito na. So far, makakaisang oras na tayo, pero medyo mabigat-bigat tong ating example kasi may computation tayo. Okay? So let us say you are examining some land that you want to buy to grow commercial timber in Caraga with cost and returns per hectare given below. So, we have the following items that we have to be aware of. Number 1, syempre, planting costs. So, ang assumption natin dito, per hectare ito. So, standardized na siya. And yung ating amount expected is multiple of 1,000. So, when you see here 50, the actual value there is 50,000 per hectare. Okay? So, kailan mo mai-incur yung planting cost? Anong year? Kailan ka ba nagtatanim sa iyong project cycle? Ang assumption natin dito, kung makikita mo yung harvest, final harvest return at age 50. So, yung ating sa agricultural, tawag dito cropping cycle from the time you plant up to the time you harvest. Dito sa atin, harvest cycle. Okay? So, ang given natin, magtanim ka at year 0, you spend 50,000. Meron kang final harvest at age 50. This is a return. Ang assumption siguro dito ay net na ito ng harvesting cost and other costs, including yung holding cost binawas na dyan. So net return na lang talaga siya sa harvest. Per hectare, it's 3,200,000 kasi multiple siya ng 1,000. Okay? And in between, meron kang cost and return also. Like, meron kang pre-commercial thinning cost at age 10, gumastos ng 100,000. Okay? At meron kang return, commercial thinning return at age 30. So dahil nag-thinning ka, familiar naman kayo sa thinning, di ba? So binabawas mo ngayon yung mga undesirable branches, may mga itinanim na seedlings na because of competition, hindi lumaki. So to give more space, more nutrients to those that are not cut, mga naiwan, gaganda ngayon yung iyong stand, yung mga naiwan na puno pag nag-thinning ka. Okay? Kaya, the assumption here is that at age 30, you get a return equivalent to 300,000 per hectare. Okay? So, anong ating assumption? You maximize the net present value here. There is an infinite planning horizon. So, when you say infinite, gagamitin mo yung lupa in perpetuity for growing commercial timber. Okay? And the rate of return on best investment is 5%. So we use that as the interest rate here. So our task is to find the net present value for a single rotation, one harvest lang muna. That is the value with just one harvest. So this is how you compute the net present value. So you harvest at age 50. So that's 3,200 multiple of 1,000. You get the present value of that. So times 1 over 1.05 raised to 50. That's a positive kasi it's a return. Okay? And then thinning cost ka at age 10. So that's 100,000. Okay? Or 100. Times 1 over 1.05 raised to 10. It's a negative kasi thinning cost. Okay? And then meron kang return at age 30 here. So that's 300,000 times 1 over 1.05 raised to 30. Okay? So itong ginagawa natin dito, basically we're bringing this to present value. Okay? At year 0. And then 50. So, anong pansin nyo sa 50? Present value na yan. Okay? Kasi when you multiply that, 50 times 1 over 1.1 raised to 0, any value raised to 0 is 1. So, 50 divided by 1 is 50. Kaya, sa present value na yan. Kaya minus 50 lang. So, when you add this, okay, present value of this, when you add the present value of this, when you add the negative with 50, which is negative, you will get a net present value of 237,000 per hectare. Okay? Naintindihan ba? Meron bang question? Friends? Joyce?
I have to apologize. Okay.
Ayan. Meron tayong 35. Taga Isabela. Tingnan natin yung mga comments dito. Aurora, Aklan, Quirino, Ifugao, Mountain Province, and then Sulu. Yung mga nag-comment sa ating FB chat box. Okay. So, that's net present value. Any question? Okay, so kung wala, punta tayo sa benefit cost ratio. Okay, so sa benefit cost ratio, it is the ratio of the present value of all benefits, positive yun, so inflows, to the present value of all costs. Those are outflows, which is negative. It shows the return per unit of investment. Okay, so ito yun, present value of benefits or inflows divided by the present value of outflows or costs. And we, again, accept the project if the benefit cost ratio is greater than 1. So, do sa ating example, ano kaya ang benefit cost ratio or financial cost ratio? So, unahin natin yung benefits, all positives. Okay? So, starting with the harvest, the present value of harvest plus the present value of obtaining return. Ayun. And then divided by the present value of cost. So 50 plus the present value ng tining cost. Lumalabas dito na ang computed, you can compute it on your own later. Ang computed benefit cost ratio natin is 3.12. So, the question is that greater than 1? Yes, per hectare. Assuming na yung mga assumptions na binigay natin ay doesn't change. So kung patuloy mo raw gagamitin, let's say yung land for plantation, and you harvest every 50 years, okay, you continue doing the suggested silvicultural practice, may tining ka, and you have cost and return there for tining, okay, you would expect na ang benefit cost ratio mo ay 3.12. So kung naglabas ka ngayon ng piso, may balik siya na 3.12 pesos per 1 peso investment. Okay na siya, di ba? Malaki-laki ng return yan. Okay? It's more than doubled. More than doubled yung investment. Ang question lang ngayon is that the best use of money that you have? Kasi hindi natin siya kina-compare with other investment options. But for this given example, masasabi natin na okay yung ating yung investment na to kasi mas malaki yung benefit cost ratio. So 1. Now, we move on to internal rate of return. So the internal rate of return will ask the question, at what discount rate that would make the net present value of a project cash flow equal to 0? So it represents the effective rate of return of an investment. Okay? Intuitively, you may also compute internal rate of return using this formula. Okay? Let's say you have 2 data points. So to compute the internal rate of return, meron kang lower discount rate. Okay? And then you have another discount rate. So you need to compute the difference between 2 rates. Okay? So let's say you have, ano bang example natin dito? This is 5%. Okay, 5%. So at 5%, may na-compute tayo na net present value. What if, okay, ang next interest rate na, let's say mangungutang ka na sa bangko, ang i-charge sa'yo is 12%. So yun yung dalawang rate na sinasabi, 5% and 12%. Now the question is, ano kaya ang net present value at 12%? Ayan. So magiging importante siya dito sa computation natin ng IRR. So yung lower discount rate natin sa example kanina ay 5%. So yung difference nung 2 rates, so 5% is 0.05. Yung next na example natin is 12%. So 0.12 minus 0.05 is 7%. Okay, so yun. Times the NPV of the lower rate. So yung NPV ng lower rate natin kanina is itong 237. Okay? And then i-divide mo siya ng sum of the NPV ignoring the sign. So assuming na, although hindi ko pa na-compute, na yung NPV at 12% will be negative. So when you say ignoring sign, that NPV that is negative will be treated as an absolute value. So you add again the NPV at 12% and NPV at 5%. So yun yung magiging sum niya. Okay? So the rule is you accept a project if its IRR is greater than the rate of return. Ayan. Okay? So kung IRR is greater than 5%, okay daw siya. Okay? Sige. I have another example here, although iba yung numbers na nabigay ko rito. Just to show you how to compute this one, internal rate of return. So this is a different project. And meron tayong data, ito computed na to. Say you have the following information about the impact of a project. Let's say the project is subdivision construction in the province of Laguna. And the project will be completed in 2 years. So medyo maliit lang siguro to. So ito yung data available. Meron tayong with project net benefits in million pesos. So, sa year 1, 2 million. Net benefit na to ha. So, meron kang benefit minus cost. Ito na yung net benefit. Sa year 2, ang net benefit mo, net cash flow na to ha, is 19 million. Ayan. Pero kung wala daw naman yung proposed project, nakaka-receive naman ng constant net benefit na 10 million every year. Okay? So ito yung example natin ngayon na may existing use of the land na kumikita ng 10 million each year. Okay, i-dissect natin to. Another given, yung interest rate is 10%. So paano nakuha yung discount factor na 0.909? Ay nakuha ito using formula 1 over 1.1 raised to 1. So ang magiging answer dyan ay ito. Okay? And then itong 0.826, paano siya nakuha? Guys. So yung formula nitong 0.1826, nakuha siya dito. 1 over 1.1 raised to 2. Okay? So yun yung formula para ma-compute mo tong discount factor. Now, so, pag-aralan natin yung given. Bakit mababa yung net benefit sa year 1? Typical business, okay, dahil ginagawa pa yung subdivision projects, may mga kailangan kang mga gawin doon sa subdivision projects like preparation ng road, yung facade, and all of those will require investment money, capital outlay. Kaya hindi ka kaagad kikita sa first year kasi may mga investment ka pa sa hard infrastructure. Kasama dyan yung mga facilities na dadaanan ng wastewater, yung mga posts for electrical posts, dadaanan ng electricity, ng cable, you name it. Okay? And only after you have invested in those na mababawasan na yung cost of construction mo. in the second year. Kaya pansin natin, in the second year, mas malaki na yung na-receive na net benefit niya in million. So itong mga to ay nakaka-nominal pa siya. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa siya dinadala sa present value. Okay? So mga future value pa ito. Ang ating reference ngayon is year 0. Year 0. Okay? Ayan. So sa year 1, ito yung expected na net benefit, saka sa year 2. So kung kukumputin nyo to, although isi-simplify na natin kasi wala tayong time na i-dissect ito one by one. Pero sa ating online review or sa face-to-face, pwede nating ipakita yung actual computation dito. So isi-simplify ko na lang given the time allocation na meron tayo. Okay? So, given this data, yung project na to ay magbibigay sa atin ng net present value na 162,000 per hectare. I think this is per hectare. Okay? At 10%. Now, kung papalitan natin yung interest rate from 10% to 15%, lumalabas na yung net present value of the project at 15% will give us a negative net present value of 156,000. Okay? So given that, may data tayo ng net present value at 10%, may data tayo ng net present value which is negative at 15%. Ang tanong ngayon, what is the internal rate of return? Yan. So ma-apply ngayon natin itong formula na to. Ayan. Ayan. Itong IRR, lower discount rate. So ano yung lower discount rate natin dito? 10%. Tapos, ano ang difference between the two rates? 15% minus 10% is 0.05. Times the NPV at the lower rate is 162,000. Okay? Divided by the sum of the NPV ignoring the sign. So basically, we will add 156 plus 162. So that would be 8. And then we have 318,000. Okay? Maingay. Maingay si JC. Okay? So, if you apply this formula, ang makukompute natin na internal rate of return is 12.55%. So the question is, paano natin to interpret? Ayan. So sinasabi rito na kapag ang interest rate ay equal to 12.55%, the net present value is equal to 0. Okay. Para maunawaan natin to, kailangan natin tingnan from 2 point of views. Kung ikaw, yung humihiram ng pera, okay, kasi mangungutang ka sa bangko, at ikaw yung magiging may-ari nitong subdivision project. And let's say na hindi enough yung pera mo. At kailangan mo mangutang sa bangko. Okay? Ang gusto mo, mas mababa yung interest rate na babayaran mo. Kasi, for each additional 1% interest rate na babayaran mo sa bangko, that's a cost to you. At kung may knowledge ka nitong IRR, ang gusto mo, okay, ay pababain up to 12.55% yung interest rate na babayaran mo sa bangko. Okay? So, yun. So, let's say, chinarge ka ng 15%. So with that additional 15% minus 12.55, may additional pang kikitain doon sa time value of money. May apply natin yan as a cost to you. Okay? So kung ikaw naman yung bangko at alam mo na medyo risky itong investment, hindi ka magbibigay ng interest rate doon sa iyong papautang na bababa sa 12.55%. Yan na yung pinaka floor interest rate na pwede mong i-charge. Pero ikaw, gusto mo mas mataas dyan para mas may kitain yung bangko. Okay? So with that knowledge of internal rate of return, makikita mo ngayon kung ideal na ituloy yung project pag may knowledge ka nito. Okay? So yan. Question sa IRR? Medyo matagal-tagal na computation to. So sa ating online review or sa ating self-face review, kapag meron tayong 1 hour communication later, pwede nating balikan ito. Paano tayo naka-arrive dyan? Kasi may mga questions na lumalabas na ganito sa exam. Okay? So, meron tayo naman na another investment criteria, yung tinatawag na payback period. So, ito yung time that will take for a project's cumulative cash flows or inflows to equal its initial investment. Put simply, the length of time before an investment reaches a break-even point. So, kailan mo daw marirecoup back yung investment money? How soon? Let's say, naglabas ka ng pera. I-assume natin na yung perang yon ay tawagin natin na principal amount. How soon mo marirecover back yung inilabas mo na perang as your investment? So, when you apply that in forestry, how soon can I get back that investment money in forestry? Okay? And alam natin na hindi ganun kabilis sa forestry kasi nga, may isang long gestation period. Marirealize mo lang yung benefit kapag nag-harvest ka na sa dulo. Kaya habang hindi ka pa nag-harvest, puro cost ka pa dyan. Kaya ang concern ngayon sa forestry, paano mo mai-encourage ang isang individual to invest in forestry kung medyo malaki-laki yung investment at wala siyang enough money? Kung hihiramin yung pera ngayon sa bangko, just for the sake of forestry investments, na ang payback period ay towards late in the project cycle, medyo concern yan kasi magbabayad ka na ng interest at the first year pa lang. Diba? First year pa lang. So, ganyan ang lakaran, lalo halimbawa kung familiar kayo sa pagla-loan sa bangko at kumuha ka ng sasakyan, for certain number of months, mag-start ka na magbayad at babayaran mo in combination yung principal na inutang plus yung interest na kinikita. Okay? Kaya ang challenge ngayon sa forestry, given that medyo malaki investment mo at long gestation period, how would you encourage private individual na mag-invest kung medyo matagal yung payback period? Okay? Kasi sabi rito, shorter payback periods indicate more attractive investment kasi mas mabilis babalik yung pera. While longer payback periods are less desirable. So kung ang iyong planning horizon is very short, baka hindi nagmamatch yung investment behavior mo sa forestry. Lalo na kung mga timber ang target mo. Mainly for timber lang kasi marirealize na towards the end or dulo nung cycle. So the payback period is calculated by dividing the amount of the investment by the annual cash flow. May example tayo mamaya. So account and fund managers use the payback period to determine whether to proceed with the potential investment. So, imamatch ngayon. If this is the computed payback period, imamatch siya ngayon doon sa investment behavior nung account owner. Okay? Tatanungin ngayon, okay lang ba na hindi mo pa marirealize agad yung iyong income from the investment in the first number of years? Marirealize mo siya after X years. So, magdi-decide ka ngayon kung alin sa mga choices mo ng investment ang maganda. Okay? Nakuha ba?
The dad said, don't leave the gate open, right? So you can call. Oh, it's urgent. Okay.
Nakuha ba, guys?
Now we wait.
Kaya ang downside ng payback period ay medyo dinidisregard niya yung time value of money. Kasi hindi natin siya kinukompute in terms of present value.
It's too dangerous.
Okay? So dito, right away, tinitingnan lang natin how soon can you recoup back that principal money without regard to the time value of money. Okay? So yun lang yung drawback niya. So, let's have an example.
Oh, that's the baby sister.
Ayan. So, payback period is equal to the cost of investment divided by the annual average cash flow. Okay. So, example natin, let's assume that a forestry company A invests in 1 billion reforestation and also a sustainable livelihood projects that's expected to save the company 250 million each year. So, paano i-compute yung payback period?
It's safe.
1 billion
Okay, that's good.
divided by 250 million each year that is saved. So, that would be 4 years. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kung naglabas ng 1 billion si company, babalik lang yung 1 billion na yon after 4 years. Kaya ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na what if uutangin ng company itong 1 billion na to? They have to pay that 1 billion principal plus interest. So kung may interest ka pang kailangang bayaran, madadagdagan itong payback period na ito. Okay? So in forestry, makikita natin yung mga large deforestation project in the Philippines, kalimitan, ang nagbabudget ito ay gobyerno. Kasi nga, medyo matagal yung gestation period at medyo malaki-laki yung kailangan pera. So, that's the challenge. Okay? So, question guys? Merong may question? Joyce, right? Nasa Google Meet natin online. Wala si Renz. How about si Miss Joyce? Wala din. Okay. So, balikan natin, ha? Diniscuss natin itong apat.
They're gonna put tape.
So these are the metrics na pwede natin gamitin kung yung forestry project na meron tayo ay financially viable. Okay? So hindi natin kasama dito yung ibang values of the forest na alam natin mahalaga pero dahil limited yung information para mabigyan sila ng value. So yung mga marketed goods lang yung ating titingnan. Okay? Net present value, benefit cost ratio, internal rate of return, and payback period. So kung titingnan natin, overall, ang gusto natin sa ating forestry projects ay magbigay ng pinakamataas na financial gain. Okay? Kasi kapag Ganon ang ating naging desisyon na yung option ng forest land use ay magbibigay ng pinakamataas na financial gain. Pwede nating masabi na this is best use of the land. So, nare-rationalize ngayon natin yung ating mga decision making and it will guide us in our management. Okay? Net present value, benefit cost ratio, internal rate of return, and payback period. So, yan yung hopefully mapick up natin and we know how to compute it kasi may mga sample questions na lumalabas sa licensure exam. Okay, so kailangan medyo mabilis kayo mag-compute dito. Okay. I think we're ready for some sample questions.
That's my childhood.
Sa tingin nyo.
They turned everything in this room turned into a trampoline.
Yeah, so pinag-usapan natin tong mga key concepts, scarcity, choice, opportunity cost, time value of money, discounting, and tinignan natin yung application niya in decision making. At pinag-usapan natin yung present value at saka yung financial investment analysis. I think we're ready for a sample question. So sa tingin nyo, Miss Joyce and Renz?
Oh no.
Are you ready? Meron lang akong tatlong nihanda. Siguro bibigyan ko kayo ng 5 minutes to answer yung sample computation dito mamaya. Okay? So, ready na, Renz? Saka Joyce, do you think you're ready? Sige. So, ito na. Sample exam questions. So, ang gagawin natin, ipopost ko yung question. Bibigyan ko kayo ng maximum of 5 minutes. Then, I will get back to you. Okay? Hopefully, nag-notes kayo kanina para masagutan natin yung mga questions na to. So, siguro, for the meantime, balikan natin yung mga formula. So, yung formula natin pala, para may data kayo. Okay? Wala akong question dito sa interest. Dito sa present value. Ayan, may question ako dyan. Okay? So, take note of this formula. Pabalikan natin yan. I-apply natin yan. So, again, present value is equal to future value divided by 1 plus I raised to t. Okay? So, take note of this. Pwede nyo i-record ito or i-snapshot nyo para makuha nyo yung formula. So, we need that. Okay? And then after that, itong mga investment criteria na to. Okay? So, pakikuha rin yung formula. Kasi gagamitin natin yan. May question na kung inihanda para dyan. Okay? So, get the formula of BCR and PB. And then yung IRR, pwede nating gamitin itong formula na to. Okay? So, yan. So, take note of that. And yung formula natin sa IRR, ito yung sample ng ating BCR. Okay? Take note of the formula. At saka yung example natin ng net present value. Ayan. Okay? So, give me a thumbs up kung pwede na nating ibigay yung first question. Okay. Nagbigay na at least si Miss Joyce. So, as I was saying, once ibigay ko yung question, I'll give you a few minutes, a maximum of 5, to work on this. And then, I'll give you the answer and then pag-usapan natin yung sagot. Paano tayo naka-arrive doon. Okay? Sige. Here is the first question. The first question is asking you, what is the present value of timber resource worth 500,000 or $500,000 if it is liquidated 10 years from now at a discount rate of 10%? Is it 5,000? Is it 50,000? Is it 174,339.22? Or is it 192,771.64? Okay? Your time starts now. I'll be closing my video and then I'll come back to you a few minutes after. Okay? To get your answer.
This is way too long. Now we wait for the. Oh yeah, there we go. It should load any minute. This is the arrow. Needs to go down. Oh yeah, then there's one. You cannot run up in the down. This. Okay, so let's do this. Go. Ingay mo. Clearing. Please. 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 Pag binangog na ingay, maribig. Ikaw, wait. Pangog loud.
Okay. So, what's your answer? Ang sagot ni Joyce ay D. 192,771.64. Wow. Same answer din si Rems. Okay, tingnan natin kung tama yung sagot nila. Dito sa PowerPoint. Ayun. Tama. The correct answer is 192,771.64. Okay? Now, let's go to the next question. Consider the following cash flow of Project Bundok Buhayin Muli. Okay? There are information provided here in the table. Meron tayong 5 years and starting from year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meron tayong benefit in peso. So for year 0, 0. For year 1, 0. For year 2, 20,000. For year 3, 30,000. Year 4, 40,000. Year 5, 50,000. Okay? And then, yung cost for year 0, 30,000. Year 1, 15,000. Year 2, 15,000. So, halos pare-pareho siya in terms of cost. Starting from year 1 to year 5. And then, assuming we use interest rate of 12%, ito yung computed na discount factor. So, paano nga siya na-compute? 1 over 1 plus 0.12 raised to 0. So, still 1. So, that's already in present value. Kaya yung discounting factor is 1. And so on. Okay? So, itong sa year 5, paano siya na-compute yung discount factor? 1 over 1 plus 0.12 raised to year 5. Okay? So, yun. So, given this information, kailangan daw nating i-compute yung net present value. Ito medyo mahaba-habang computation ito. So, kung ang gamit nyo lang ay calculator, okay, this will require you additional time. So, you need to compute the net present value of this project. So, una, paano gagawin? Kunin muna ang net present value ng benefit or benefit minus cost and get the present value each year. Okay, pwede rin yun. And then you sum up those. So, are you ready? Ready for your answer? Will it be letter A? Will it be letter B? Will it be letter C? Or will it be letter D? Okay, your time starts now. So, balik ulit ako after a few minutes, ha? Tingnan natin yung sagot for Joyce and Renz. Okay. So, for question 2, what's your answer, Renz and Joyce? May nagsagot sa ating online 2A. Si Renz ay letter D. How about kaya si Miss Joyce? A? Okay, so let me show you the answer. Okay. The correct answer for question 2A is letter A. Yan. Okay, so again, we don't have time to discuss in detail this one para mapakita natin yung detailed computation. I'm gonna show this later during the one-on-one Q&A later doon sa mga naka-online na magre-review. Meron tayong question with the reviewers. Okay? So, I have one last question here, I guess. One or two. Last one, I think. Mabilis lang to. So, hindi na ako magli-leave. Titingnan ko na yung tingin ko na kaagad yung answer nyo. Siguro, kung na-pick up nyo to, mabilis lang tong sagutin. Okay? So, you're ready for the third question? Kung talagang nakinig kayo doon sa lecture, naintindihan? Ready, Miss Joyce? Ayan, nag-thumbs up na sila. Ready? Here is a final question. An investor would like to recapture his initial investment. So what do you call the number of years required to recapture said investment? A, rotation. B, age. C, payback period. And D, cutting cycle. Again, the question is, an investor would like to recapture his initial investment. What do you call the number of years required to recapture said investment? Is it A, rotation? B, age. C, payback period. And D, cutting cycle. So may mga sumagot online. C. Tanungin natin ang ating nasa Google Meet. So sabi ni Renzi, sabi ni Miss Joyce, payback period. You're right. The correct answer is payback period. Ayun. So that ends my 3 sample questions. So I want to use the rest of the time kung may mga questions kayo. So let me stop sharing this. Kung may mga questions kayo doon sa ating mga sample concepts na naibigay. We can also share some tips if you like. Na magandang ma-share din. Siguro makakatulong din sa inyo. Lalong-lalo na sa review. You ready for that? Kung wala nang question dun sa 3 sample questions, Renz and Joyce? Sige. So, I think kilala nyo naman yung sarili nyo, di ba? Kung ano ang mas effective sa inyo. But in my experience, not just for taking the licensure examination, but also na-experience ko sa sarili ko then when I was doing my master's and PhD na mas nakaka-capture ko yung idea kapag hindi ako puyat, medyo naka-relax, nakapahinga. And usually, nangyayari yun kapag kagigising ko lang, nagkaroon ng mini nap, or after breakfast na clear pa yung mind. Okay? So, it also helps na meron kayong mga review notes. So, marami mga review notes na available. So, in me, effective sa akin yun na meron akong pinipare na individual notes para kung babalikan ko uli yung mga concepts na yun, yung review notes ko na lang yung babalikan. But in terms of the computation, so the idea is maganda na maunawaan natin, maintindihan natin yung concept. So, at ano ibig sabihin ito? So kung meron mang mga computations, maganda na tutukan natin yun. At ang una, intindihin natin ano ang hinihingi dun sa questions. And try to do some practice computations. Paano naka-arrive dito? So what is the fastest way to answer this? Kasi limited yung time. Okay? You don't want to spend more than 5 minutes doon sa isang question, lalo na kung computation siya. So makakatulong na alam natin how to answer sample questions like this, lalo na yung pinakita ko kanina. Yeah, those questions actually appeared in the previous exam. But in my assessment, kung first time nyo may encounter yon at hindi nyo alam kung paano siya gawin, mahihirapan kayo kasi magko-consume kayo ng more than 5 minutes. So, masasacrifice naman yung ibang mga questions na kailangan nyo rin sagutin. So yun yung advice ko. So, try to do some sample computations and then practice siya. And then use your notes together and try to review that during the time na in your personal choice and preference, doon kayo mas effective, mas na-absorb niyo yung yung lesson or na-absorb niyo yung concept. Okay? Pag pagod kayo, puyat kayo, meron kayong iniisip na iba, wala kayo sa focus. Those are the times na hindi magiging efficient yung inyong review. So siguro yun yung pwedeng i-take home natin. And hopefully, at the end of the day, makakasama namin kayo sa victory party. And masungkit uli ng mga reviewers yung nasa top. Okay? So without further ado, I'm gonna end my free session with you today. I'll be happy to answer more of your questions. Pwede kayo mag-email sa amin. To me individually, my email address is abvista@up.edu.ph, or you can connect with UP Step Review Center for your other concerns. So thank you and good night. I'll be giving back the online concerns to Miss Crystal Ivy.
Hello?
Cool.
Ayan. So, ayan. If wala na pong questions from our participants, we are kindly requesting for a photo op po with our lecturer and our participants dito sa ating Google Meet. So if possible po on your end, kindly open your cameras po for the photo op.